What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Kyle. I'm a full-time futures trader and founder of the Power Trading Group. In this video, we're going to be doing a monthly recap of the Autopilot Trader, otherwise known as APT. This is a monthly performance recap. I had previously been doing the weekly performance recaps. In the last weekly update, I mentioned that I was going to switch to a monthly update just to kind of keep things clean on the YouTube channel, not be spamming everyone with weekly updates. It seemed a little unnecessary to do weekly updates. Yesterday, if you caught yesterday's video, I posted about taking my first ever prop payout with APT. That was with no manual trade. So we secured the prop payout using APT. That was a personal first. I know a number of members in the community who are currently using APT have already done that. Congratulations to you all if you have already secured that payout. That was a first for me, so pretty exciting. What I wanted to focus on for today is kind of what I consider the main account, if you will. This is the main account that I have set up with APT. This is trading 3 NQ contracts, and the monthly performance, I almost said weekly there. The monthly performance, as you can see, this is on Tradeovate. We're looking at this month, and it's from November 1st to November 29th. Monthly performance total P&L, $17,500. We can see a pretty clean equity curve here. Definitely have some losses in there. It was only a 67.9% win rate for this month. Break even trades 2%, and then losing trades obviously 30% there. Now, a couple of things that come to mind that I wanted to talk about in this monthly performance video. Number one, I actually ended up missing 2 winning trades on the main account due to kind of fiddling with some of my alerts. I had actually mentioned those missed trades in one of the weekly update videos. Those were both profitable trades. So the performance actually should be a bit better on the month, but this is just a realistic look at what actually happened. Now, I want to remind you, this is actually within the brokerage. This is not like simulated results or anything like that. This is not back tested results. These are actual live executions that took place within the broker. You can actually see all of the trades that were taken down beneath there. Now, the other kind of item that is top of mind about this month is understanding that there are occasionally going to be technology issues that are outside of our control as traders and as individuals that are running any sort of automation. If you guys are subscribed to APT or you have a APT annual license, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. With this past month, we had the AWS outage. So that is something that is completely out of our control, but definitely can have an impact on our performance as traders who are running any sort of automation. So I believe with the AWS outage, we had 1 or 2 trades that were missed, and that was because our signal processor, so we use a third-party signal processor for APT. Basically, a quick recap of the way it works. APT is built out in TradingView. TradingView generates the signals. The signals go from TradingView to a third-party signal processor. And then the third-party signal processor sends those trade executions to Tradeovate or whatever broker you're using. For me and most of the APT users, it is going to be Tradeovate. So it sends those signals over. Now, when TradingView actually fired the alerts to send to the third-party signal processor, well, the third-party signal processor is built on top of AWS, like a lot of websites are. And so those trades just did not go through. Now, thankfully, if I remember correctly, it was the entry that didn't go through. And so any of the exits that fired are just going to be ignored. However, imagine if you're in a trade, an entry is taken, and then the exits cannot be taken with some sort of outage like that. It's going to be super important that you have some safeguards kind of built into the broker, things like a daily loss limit or weekly loss limit built in on the actual broker side of things, so that you're not going to get caught off sides with some sort of technology issue. These are some of the real risk components that we have to think about as individuals that are running any sort of automation. And then later on in the month, we had the Cloudflare outage, and so that's a security human verification software that a lot of websites are using. And again, when that went down, a lot of sites across the web were completely down. So what happened on my end was I actually had a scenario like I just mentioned. An entry was taken and then the exits did not fire. Now thankfully that was a profitable trade, and I saw it the morning that it happened. I was able to manually intervene and exit that position. But again, imagine if you were not supervising and something happens, and you can end up losing potentially large sums of money. And so we want to make sure that on the broker side of things, you have some sort of daily loss limit built in. And again, the idea of the daily loss limit is not to choke the strategy or stop the strategy from working, is to prevent any sort of catastrophic technological issue. And so this is the performance here. We had, like I said, 17.5K just trading 3 NQ contracts. Really, performance should have been better than this, but we'll take it. 17.5K from essentially doing nothing. Remember, there's a fully hands-free automated system. That's a good month. That's a really nice month. I'm pretty happy with the equity curve. I'm happy with how version 2 has been going so far. Everything seems to be quite clean. It's trading profitably. It's catching most of the setups that I would want it to catch. For those of you that are unfamiliar with Autopilot Trader, it is trading the 2 hour trader framework. And so there are some trades here and there where, I'm kind of thinking, well, probably should have been in that trade from a discretionary perspective, but for one reason or another, it just does not see an entry there. That's part of the game with automation. As discretionary traders, we're going to sometimes see trades that we think the automation should be in, and then we're going to see the automation take trades that we as discretionary traders would never take. And that's just kind of something you have to get comfortable with when you're running automation. It's not going to be perfectly dialed in. The goal is not to have it perfectly dialed in and have it constantly overfitting. The goal is to have it be kind of close enough, because I do see a lot of traders, even with some of the feature requests that end up coming my way for APT, we're trying to min max certain things that only apply to maybe, a tiny sample size of trades, maybe 5% of trades or something like that. It's like you're trying to optimize for such a small segment of trades that it's not really going to have a material impact on the end of day or end of month P&L. And actually, if you start to tweak it, you can start to negatively impact other components of the edge. And so it's not always about, getting the perfect exit, the perfect entry, anything like that. It's about, painting with broad strokes in a way that is still going to have edge and still have mathematical positive expectancy. And I think with APT, based on all the forward testing that we have been doing, this has been, as a reminder, this has been for me an ongoing project for about a year and a half now, a little more than a year and a half, almost 2 years. I've been running it on my own for, I want to say, about 6 months. And then we've had actual clients and members running it in their accounts as well since early October. So about 2 months now. Everyone should, based on all of the results that we have so far, everyone who started in October 1st, even though October 1st had a couple of red weeks with version 1, we're now on version 2. Everyone should be profitable, should be green. So that is really, really great to see. That obviously that's the goal with any sort of automation. Those that picked up APT later, I want to say like halfway through October, and then even after that, should be not just green, but like nicely green. So that's the goal here. Very, very happy with the month of November for APT. Overall, 17.5K on the month. Hit rate a little bit lower than I would expect out of the Autopilot Trader at 68%, and then 2% break even trade. So it's right there at about 70%, but I do think it can do a little bit better. So we'll see how December looks. If you are interested in picking up the Autopilot Trader and you're watching this during Black Friday weekend between Black Friday and Cyber Monday, it is currently 50% off while we still have licenses available. So this has an user cap of 250 members. We're not going to take any more than 250 individuals at this time. So we want to make sure there's no edge erosion or anything like that. It's normally 5,000, 50% off right now. Link in bio if you want to, or link in description if you want to check that out. It is a 1-year annual license. If you guys have any questions about APT, drop it in the comment section down below. But overall, what can I say? Very, very happy with this performance. Not really much else to say about it other than, it's working as intended. It's quite profitable on the month, closing the month at equity highs, as we can see on the equity curve here. So a little bit of, some periods of drawdown, but that's normal. It climbs right up out of the drawdown. And so what else needs to be said here? I mean, the main thing for this month was the kind of technological issues that are totally out of our hands, and we can kind of offset that risk by setting a daily loss limit. So I'm looking forward to seeing what December has in store for us, especially with FOMC, CPI, and then holiday trading as well. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. And again, if you have any questions, leave them down below. I will see you in the next one. Take care.